Business class. A young CEO clutches her laptop, dark circles under her eyes, exhausted from endless work. Next to her sits an ordinary man, gray jacket, reading a book about child psychology. The plane takes off. She drifts to sleep. Her head falls onto his shoulder. He doesn't move, just shifts slightly so she can rest. An hour later, the plane shakes violently. Lights flicker. Cabin pressure drop. Brace for impact. She wakes up in panic. He removes the lanyard from his neck, activates emergency radio. "This is Captain Rowan, retired Air Command. Let me in the cockpit." Everyone freezes, eyes wide. "He's a pilot?" His name is Jack Rowan, 40 years old, single dad. His daughter Lila is 9. He used to fly jets for the military. Now he lives quietly. Simple apartment, simple life, everything for his daughter. The woman next to him is Clara Voss, 30 years old, CEO of an aviation tech company, sharp suits, designer luggage, confidence in every gesture. She built her career on being the smartest person in the room. She knows it. Everyone knows it. They're on an international flight back to the States. She's returning from a tech summit. He's coming home from a rescue conference. Clara eyes his worn jacket, his budget backpack. She shifts away slightly, creates distance. Her world is first-class upgrades and VIP lounges. His world is parent-teacher meetings and grocery store coupons. She opens her laptop, financial reports, quarterly projections. Her fingers fly across the keyboard. Jack pulls out a book. Understanding Your Child's Emotional Development. He reads slowly, takes notes in the margins. Clara glances over, raises an eyebrow, looks away. The flight attendant offers drinks. Jack orders water. Clara orders sparkling wine. "Business or pleasure?" Clara asks without looking up. "Neither," Jack says. "Just heading home." "What do you do?" He pauses, touches the small silver pendant around his neck. It's engraved with words too small to read from a distance. "I used to fly," he says. "Now I fix what's broken." Clara nods absently, already back to her screen. The conversation ends, but Jack notices something. Her hands are shaking, just slightly. The coffee cup rattles against the tray table. She's exhausted, running on fumes, trying to hold everything together. He's seen it before, in soldiers, in rescue workers, in himself. The plane climbs through clouds. Turbulence bumps them gently. Clara's eyes grow heavy. She fights it, blinks hard, but exhaustion wins. Her head tilts, falls onto his shoulder. Jack freezes for a moment. Then he does something unexpected. He doesn't wake her, doesn't push her away. He shifts his position, angles his shoulder so she's more comfortable, stays completely still. The flight attendant walks by, smiles softly, mouths, "That's sweet." Jack just shrugs with his free shoulder, goes back to his book, reads with one hand. An hour passes. Clara sleeps deeply, the first real rest she's had in weeks. Her phone buzzes in her lap. Jack glances down. Screen lights up. Board meeting 8 a.m. Quarterly review. Do not be late. Investor call rescheduled. Urgent. Where are the projections? 27 unread messages. He looks at her face. Even in sleep, her forehead is creased. Tension lives in her jaw. Jack understands something Clara doesn't yet know. Being strong doesn't mean never resting. It means knowing when you need to. He carefully pulls his jacket off with one hand, drapes it over her like a blanket. His pendant catches the overhead light. The engraving becomes visible for just a moment. For those who land others safely. It's a rescue pilot's creed, given to those who brought people home through impossible odds. Jack earned his in a storm over the Pacific. 7 years ago. Different life, different man. Now his mission is smaller, quieter. Getting Lila to school, making breakfast, being present. But some instincts never fade. The instinct to protect, to stabilize, to make sure everyone lands safely, even a stranger on a plane. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens when pride meets quiet honor. Clara wakes suddenly, realizes where her head is, on his shoulder. She jerks upright, face flushing red. "I'm so sorry," she says stiffly. "I didn't mean to." "You look tired," Jack says simply. "It's fine." She straightens her blazer, smooths her hair, rebuilding her armor. "Thank you," she says. Cold, professional, creating distance again. Jack just nods, goes back to his book. But something has shifted. She keeps glancing at him. Who is this man? Why didn't he wake her? Why is he so calm? Her phone explodes with notifications. She sighs, opens her email. "Bad day," Jack asks. "Bad year," she mutters, then catches herself. She doesn't share with strangers, but Jack doesn't pry, just listens. "Aviation tech," she says finally. "We build navigation systems, AI-assisted flight control, the technology that keeps planes in the air." "Sounds important." "It is." Pride creeps into her voice. "We're the best in the industry. I made sure of that." Jack nods thoughtfully. "Must be a lot of pressure." "Pressure makes diamonds," Clara says. It's her motto, her mantra. "Or it makes cracks," Jack says quietly. She looks at him sharply, but there's no judgment in his eyes, just understanding. The moment hangs between them. Then the plane tilts, just slightly. Clara's wine glass slides across the tray table. Jack catches it without looking up, sets it back, returns to his book. "Quick reflexes," Clara observes. "Old habits." "From flying?" "From staying alive." She wants to ask more, but the flight attendant interrupts. "Would you like dinner, sir?" Jack orders the chicken. Clara orders the salmon. They eat in comfortable silence. Or maybe uncomfortable silence. Clara can't tell anymore. She's used to commanding boardrooms, negotiating million-dollar deals. But this quiet man beside her is completely unreadable. It bothers her. She's always been able to read people. "Your daughter," Clara says suddenly. "The book. Is she okay?" Jack's face softens immediately. "She's wonderful, smart, brave. Lost her mom 3 years ago." "I'm sorry." "Me too." He touches his pendant. "But we're doing okay. She's my priority now." "That's why you stopped flying?" "That's why I started landing." Clara doesn't understand, but she doesn't ask. The plane levels out. Hours pass. The cabin darkens. Passengers sleep. Clara tries to work, but exhaustion pulls at her. She glances at Jack. He's awake, staring out the window at the stars. "Can I ask you something?" she says. "Sure." "Why didn't you wake me? Earlier, you could have moved." "Ask the flight attendant to switch seats." Jack considers this. "You needed rest more than I needed comfort." Simple, honest, no ulterior motive. Clara feels something crack inside her. Just a little. "I don't think anyone's done something that kind for me in years," she admits. "Then you're around the wrong people." "Maybe I'm one of the wrong people." Jack looks at her directly. "I doubt that." Before she can respond, the plane shudders. Hard. The seatbelt sign flashes on. A tone chimes. Urgent. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing severe turbulence. Please remain seated with seatbelts fastened." Another jolt. Harder. The plane drops. Screams erupt. Overhead bins rattle. Clara grips her armrests, knuckles white. Jack is completely still, watching, assessing. The turbulence intensifies. The plane bucks like a wild animal. Lights flicker, once, twice, then darkness. Emergency lighting kicks in. Red, dim, terrifying. "Stay calm," a flight attendant shouts, but her voice shakes. The plane tilts sharply left. Luggage crashes from overhead compartments. A woman screams. A child cries. Clara's laptop slides off her tray, crashes to the floor. Jack's hand reaches across, grabs her wrist. Steady, grounding. "Breathe," he says. "Look at me. Breathe." She does. His eyes are clear, focused, unafraid. The cockpit door bursts open. A flight attendant stumbles out, face pale, panicked. "The captain collapsed," she shouts. "Heart attack. The co-pilot is trying to stabilize, but—" Another violent shake. The plane drops again. "We need help," she screams. "Is there anyone who can fly? Anyone with pilot experience?" Silence. Terror. Then Jack unbuckles his seatbelt, stands, steady, calm, like the plane isn't shaking apart around them. "I can," he says. Every head turns. Clara stares. "What?" Jack removes the lanyard from around his neck. The silver pendant catches the emergency light. But there's something else on the lanyard now. She hadn't noticed before. An ID badge. Worn, faded. "Air Rescue Command, Captain J. Rowan." The flight attendant gasps. "You're a pilot?" "Was," Jack says. "Point me to the cockpit." Passengers part like water, creating a path. Jack walks forward. No hesitation, no drama. Just a man who knows what needs to be done. Clara sits frozen. The cabin is chaos. Children crying, adults praying, the plane shaking like it's coming apart. Clara can't move, can't breathe. The man who just walked into that cockpit was reading a children's book 20 minutes ago. Now he's supposed to save 180 lives. The intercom crackles. "Ladies and gentlemen," Jack's voice, steady, commanding. "This is Captain Rowan. I'll be assisting the flight crew. We're going to get through this. Stay in your seats. Stay calm." The authority in his voice cuts through the panic. People stop screaming, start listening. Clara hears something else in his tone, something she recognizes from boardrooms. Leadership, real leadership. Not the kind you learn in seminars, the kind forged in fire. Minutes crawl by. The plane levels slightly, still shaking, but not falling. Clara stares at the cockpit door, willing it to open, willing him to walk back out and say it's fine. A flight attendant moves through the cabin, checking passengers. Her hands shake, but she's trying. She stops at Clara's row. "You were sitting with him, the captain. Did you know?" Clara shakes her head. "No, I thought he was just ordinary." "Ordinary men don't walk into dying planes," the attendant says. The words hit Clara like a punch. She thought she knew what strength looked like. Corner offices, power suits, titles on business cards. But real strength wore a worn jacket and carried a book about helping children process grief. The plane shudders again. Harder. Warning alarms blare from the cockpit. Clara grips her armrests, closes her eyes. She thinks about her company, her empire, all the things she was so proud of. None of it matters if she doesn't make it home. The intercom again. "Flight crew, prepare for emergency descent. We're losing altitude, but we're in control." Jack's voice, still calm, still steady. "There's an airstrip 40 miles east. We're going to make it. Trust me." And somehow, impossibly, Clara does trust him. This stranger, this man she dismissed, this quiet father who let her sleep on his shoulder. The plane banks hard right, descending fast. Through the window, Clara sees lights below. A city, an airport. They're close, so close. The landing gear deploys. A mechanical groan echoes through the cabin. "Brace positions!" A flight attendant shouts. "Heads down! Stay down!" Clara folds forward, arms over her head. She hears prayers, quiet sobs, the rushing wind outside. Then impact, hard, fast, brutal. The plane hits the runway, bounces, hits again. Brakes scream, metal shrieks. Clara is thrown against her seatbelt. Everything is noise and motion and terror. Then stillness, complete, total stillness. For a moment, no one moves. No one breathes. Then someone whispers, Are we alive?" The cabin erupts, crying, laughing, hysterical relief. People hug strangers. Thank God. Thank each other. The cockpit door opens. Jack steps out. His hair is disheveled, his shirt soaked with sweat. But his face is calm. He looks exhausted, like he just fought a war. The cabin falls silent, everyone staring. Then someone starts clapping. One person, then two, then everyone. Applause thunders through the plane. People standing, cheering. Jack raises a hand. "The co-pilot deserves your thanks. And the crew. They did the real work." "You saved us!" someone shouts. "We saved each other," Jack says simply. His eyes find Clara's. She's crying, didn't even realize it. He walks down the aisle. Passengers reach out, touch his shoulder, thank him. He nods to each one. No ego, no pride, just quiet acknowledgement. He reaches Clara's row, sits down heavily. For a moment, neither speaks. "You're a pilot," Clara finally says, voice hoarse. "Was," Jack corrects. "I'm retired." "That wasn't retired. That was, that was," she can't find the words. "Muscle memory," Jack says. "It comes back when it needs to." Emergency vehicles surround the plane. Lights flashing, sirens wailing, paramedics board. Check passengers. Everyone is shaken but miraculously unharmed. Minor injuries, no fatalities. A miracle. That's what the news will call it. But Clara knows better. It wasn't a miracle. It was skill, experience. A man who knew exactly what to do. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asks. "When I asked what you do, you could have said you were a pilot." Jack shrugs. "You asked what I do, not what I was. I'm a father now. That's what I do. But you're a captain, Air Rescue Command. That's..." She stops. Something clicks in her memory. Air Rescue Command. Phoenix Squadron. Her company. Her navigation systems. 5 years ago, a scandal. A pilot who refused to falsify safety data, who walked away from his career rather than compromise. Her predecessor fired him, called him difficult, unreasonable. The board approved it. No one questioned it. Clara's blood runs cold. "Oh my God," she whispers. "You're that pilot. The Phoenix case." Jack's face doesn't change. "Ancient history. You worked for my company. You designed navigation systems for rescue operations." "I did. And they fired you because you wouldn't sign off on faulty data." Jack meets her eyes. "They wanted faster approval, bigger profits. I wanted safe equipment. We disagreed. So you lost your career. I kept my integrity." He touches his pendant. "And I got to be there when Lila needed me. No regrets." Clara feels sick. Her company, the empire she's so proud of, built partly on the shoulders of a man they destroyed for doing the right thing. "I didn't know," she says. "I was just VP of development back then. I wasn't in those meetings." "I know, you cleaned house when you took over, fixed the problems. I followed your work." "You followed? Why?" "Because I care about the work. I always did. Just because they fired me doesn't mean I stopped caring about keeping people safe." The plane doors open. Passengers begin to evacuate. Jack stands, offers Clara his hand. She takes it, lets him help her up. They walk toward the exit together. At the door, Jack pauses, looks back at the cockpit. "For those who land others safely," he murmurs. Clara understands now. It's not about the title, not about the uniform or the recognition. It's about the mission, the purpose. Jack never stopped being a pilot, even after they took his wings. He just found different ways to help people land safely. Outside, cameras flash. News crews are already arriving. "Miracle landing," a reporter shouts. "Who was the pilot?" Jack tries to slip away, but passengers point him out. "That's him! He saved us!" "Captain Rowan, can we get a statement?" Jack looks uncomfortable, trapped. Clara makes a decision. She steps forward, into the cameras, into the lights. "His name is Captain Jack Rowan," she says clearly. "Retired Air Rescue Command, Phoenix Squadron, and yes, he saved 180 lives today." Jack looks at her, surprised. "He's a hero," Clara continues, "and tomorrow everyone will know it." For the first time, Jack looks uncertain, because being invisible was easier, being forgotten was safer, but Clara just made sure the world won't forget, and neither will she. The story goes viral overnight. Unknown pilot saves 180 lives. Former air rescue captain emerges from retirement. Jack's phone explodes with calls, interview requests. He ignores them all. Clara doesn't. 3 days later, she calls a press conference. Her company headquarters. Every major outlet attends. Jack doesn't want to come, but Clara insists. "You deserve this," she tells him. He shows up, uncomfortable in a borrowed suit. Lila holds his hand. Clara takes the podium. Cameras flash. 5 years ago, she begins, this company made a terrible mistake. The room goes silent. We had a lead engineer, a pilot who designed navigation systems that saved countless lives. She looks directly at Jack. He discovered flaws in our approval process, safety shortcuts. When he refused to sign off on compromised equipment, we fired him. Gasps ripple through the room. That man is Captain Jack Rowan, the same man who saved 180 people 3 days ago. A board members shift uncomfortably in their seats. We took his career because he chose integrity over profit, because he valued lives more than quarterly earnings. She pauses. Today I'm here to say we were wrong. Completely wrong. She walks to Jack. Captain Rowan, on behalf of this company, I apologize. For the injustice. For the years you lost. For failing to see what kind of man you are. Jack stands, uncomfortable with attention. It's in the past, he says quietly. It shouldn't be. Clara holds out a folder. I'm offering you Director of Aviation Safety Research. Lead our ethics division. Jack looks at the folder. Doesn't take it. I appreciate the offer, but I'm happy where I am. You're teaching part-time at a flight school. You could have so much more. I have everything I need. Jack's hand rests on Lila's shoulder. My daughter needs stability, a dad who's home for dinner. But your expertise can be shared differently. Jack opens the folder. Instead of hiring me, create a scholarship for children of pilots who died in service. Clara stares at him. You want me to give your salary to kids? Yes. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then it'll help a lot of kids. The room falls silent. A reporter whispers, Is this guy for real? Clara blinks back tears. The Phoenix Scholarship, she says. We launch next month. Jack smiles. His first real smile. Perfect. As the conference ends, board members try to leave quickly. Clara stops them. Gentlemen, we're conducting a full audit of the Phoenix incident. Anyone found complicit will be removed, effective immediately. One by one, they pale. Justice. Quiet, thorough. Later outside, Jack buckles Lila into his car. Clara follows. You could have taken everything, she says. The position, the money, you earned it. I don't need recognition, Jack says. I needed to be there when my daughter lost her mom, to teach her that doing the right thing matters more than success. He looks at Clara. You gave me that, by firing me. You gave me time with her I would have missed. That's not how it works, Clara says softly. Maybe not, but it's how I choose to see it. He gets in the car. Thank you, Miss Voss. Clara, please. He nods. Clara. As he drives away, Clara realizes something profound. She just met the strongest person she's ever known. And he wore strength like a comfortable jacket. Quiet. Unassuming, absolutely unshakable. The kind of strength you can't learn in business school. The kind that changes everything. 1 year later, the Phoenix Scholarship Foundation holds its first annual ceremony. 25 children of fallen pilots receive full college scholarships. The venue is packed. Families, press, aviation community leaders. Jack sits in the audience. Lila beside him. They're just guests today. Clara takes the stage. A year ago, a man taught me something crucial, she begins, that true leadership isn't about power, it's about service. She tells the story, the plane, the storm, the quiet hero. Captain Rowan could have claimed everything, recognition, compensation, glory. He chose something better. He chose to lift up others. She gestures to the scholarship recipients. These 25 students represent the legacy of service, just like their parents, just like the man who inspired this program. Applause fills the room. Captain Rowan, would you join me, please? Jack hesitates. Lila pushes him gently. Go, Dad. He walks to the stage. Uncomfortable as always with attention. Clara hands him the microphone. Jack looks at the scholarship recipients. Young faces, hopeful eyes. I'm not good at speeches, he admits. But I know what it's like to lose someone who flew. My best friend died in a rescue operation. Left behind a son. His voice catches, steadies. Flying isn't just a job. It's a calling. Your parents answered that calling. They chose to serve, to protect, to bring people home safely. He touches his pendant. That legacy lives in you now. Not because you have to fly, but because you understand what it means to put others first. He looks at Clara. This scholarship isn't charity. It's investment. In the future you'll build, the lives you'll touch, the difference you'll make. Make them proud, Jack finishes simply. As he steps back, something unexpected happens. Lila runs onto the stage. She throws her arms around Clara. Thank you, Lila says. Thank you for helping my daddy fly again. Edgar, Clara kneels down, hugs her back. He helped me first, sweetie. More than he knows. The room erupts in applause. Jack comes over, puts his hand on Clara's shoulder. You turned something broken into something beautiful, he says quietly. That takes vision. You showed me what vision really looks like, Clara replies. Seeing people, not positions. Later, as the ceremony ends, Jack and Clara stand by the window, watching planes take off from the nearby airport, silver bodies climbing into blue sky. Do you miss it? Clara asks. Flying. Jack watches a jet disappear into clouds. Every day, he admits. But I don't regret landing. Why not? Because Lila needed me on the ground, and I discovered something down here. What's that? Jack smiles. You don't need wings to help people soar. Clara looks at him, this ordinary man, this extraordinary father. You leaned on my shoulder that night, she says softly. Did you know I used to think I had to hold everything alone? And now? Now I know strength isn't about carrying everything. It's about knowing when to let others help and when to help them carry their weight. Jack nods. You're learning. They watch another plane take off. Sunlight catches its wings. And for a moment, everything is perfect. Two people, different paths, same sky, both grounded, both flying, both exactly where they need to be. Subscribe if you believe dignity always finds its way home.